Hey everyone, Core 717, my sister Morgan back here talking about the worst movies we saw in 2010, the absolute stinkers, the movies that we hated seeing. And like I was listening to Gab and Dad's video, you know, we don't plan on seeing horrible films. It just kind of happens. Alright, so my sister only has 8 worst movies on her list. She didn't see as many movies as I did. I have some honorable mentions. She doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and go through my honorable mentions. My honorable mentions for the worst movies of 2010 are The Tooth Fairy with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a tutu, Frozen, the horrible horror film, Cop Out, easily Kevin Smith's worst film, Remember Me, horrible, The Backup Plan, which is a movie we actually enjoyed when we saw it in theaters the first time, but a few weeks after seeing it, we realized how bad it was.
Yes.
Yeah, not that good. And the last song. So let's get on to our main list. Alright, so I'll go through my number 10, number 9, then we'll go on through 8 and up. So my number 10 worst film of 2010 is Step Up 3D, a movie you really enjoyed and our mom really enjoyed as well. The 3D was amazing, but the story is very formulaic. Very cliche. It's very much like the second one. The director from the second one, John M. Chu, who's directing the Justin Bieber movie.
Fail.
Are you going to go see it, Justin Bieber?
No, I'm not. I'm not a fan of him.
But yeah, Step Up 3D, horrible film. Good 3D, but I mean, story-wise, acting-wise, just completely awful. And my number 8 is a movie a lot of people actually enjoyed. I didn't like it. That is Despicable Me. Great voice casting. I mean, Steve Carell, Jason Segel, Miranda Cosgrove. You like iCarly.
Yes.
I watch iCarly at times with her. It's kind of a goofy show, but it's kind of funny. But Despicable Me was a movie we thought we were both going to really enjoy. It's one of those that really kind of ambushed us in a way. I mean, it was a movie we thought we were going to really enjoy. The 3D looked really good, but the movie turned out to be horrible. So yeah, Despicable Me is my number 9 worst movie of 2010. Alright, so let's go on to your number 8 worst movie of 2010.
Okay. My number 8 worst film I did not like this year is The Losers. When I saw the very beginning, I knew I was not going to like it.
And both of us really like action movies, but and you even said that you liked the action as well, but you thought that the story was kind of weak and
the story is
yeah. So number 8 is The
Losers.
Losers. Alright, my number 8 is this Tina Fey and Steve Carell movie. Again, another horrible Steve Carell movie. I wish he would go back to making movies with Judd Apatow. But number 8 is Date Night. Awful film. Oh man, I mean this movie was so painful to sit through. The only 2 things that I actually enjoyed about the film were Mila Kunis and James Franco. If the movie would have been about them, it would have been a great movie. But other than that, Date Night was an awful film.
Okay, number 7 is The Backup Plan. Jennifer Lopez was really good.
But the story was very cliche, very weak.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies that it's kind of charming when you're watching it, while you're watching it, but it's one of those movies that kind of has, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth a little while after watching it. So yeah, The Backup Plan, definitely a stinker.
My number 6 is Killers. I'm very sad and disappointed that I didn't like the movie. If you like Katherine Heigl, Ashton Kutcher, you could go see that movie, but I'm just going to warn you that it's not going to be a good movie. So.
And speaking of Killers, my number 5 is Killers. Katherine Heigl, Ashton Kutcher. What an awful film. I mean, this is like one of those movies that, I mean, I remember when we saw it in theaters, it was sold out. I mean, it was like shoulder to shoulder. I mean, everybody was seeing this movie. It was so painful to sit through. I never want to see this movie again. I know that you probably don't want to see it again either. Killers, 2 thumbs way down.
My number 5 is Clash of the Titans. And the movie is just like Percy Jackson, I'll tell you that. It's the same type of century, kind of. But
it is. It's dealing a lot with kind of Greek mythology and the gods and everything.
And all that stuff.
But Percy Jackson was definitely a lot better than this.
Definitely a lot better. But there was really kind of no storyline. The storyline was very, very weak.
What do you think of the 3D?
The 3D is horrible. I would say that's the worst 3D I've seen ever. Very poorly.
I agree. All right, my number 4 is probably one of the biggest letdowns of this year, Dinner for Schmucks with Steve Carell. Again, another I mean, seriously, I have 3 Steve Carell movies on here, I believe. Yeah.
He does.
So, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, Lucy Punch. Oh, my... I don't even want to talk about this movie anymore. It just... I mean, this is a movie that just made me feel physically ill leaving the theater. It was just awful. It was a huge letdown. I mean, the thing is, you got 2 amazing actors. Steve Carell, who we both love on The Office.
Yes.
Paul Rudd is just amazing in just about everything he does. I don't get why you get 2 of the best comedic actors out there and put them both in a horrible film. Absolutely pointless. It doesn't showcase their talent. It's just a bad movie. Definitely don't watch Dinner for Schmucks.
My number 4 is Alice in Wonderland. When I saw the trailer, I was very, very psyched up to go see the movie. It all ended at the end where Johnny Depp did that horrible dance.
Yeah, I agree. That dance is...
That made it worse.
I mean, if you already thought that Alice in Wonderland was bad, by the time he gets to that awful...
the awful scene, you know you're done.
That dance is just... I mean, what were they thinking? I mean, Tim Burton... I mean, he hasn't made a good movie in a very... I mean, since Big Fish, and I hope one day Tim Burton comes back in true form, but we'll see. All right, so we just realized now that I've been kind of messing up on the numbers. All right, so just to kind of refresh, my number 10 is Step Up 3D. Number 9, Despicable Me. Number 8, Date Night. Number 6, Killers. Number 5, Dinner for Schmucks. And number 4, now going to number 4, easily one of the biggest letdowns in my opinion of this year, Stone, with Robert De Niro and Edward Norton. It was just really bad. It was another one of those Oscar bait type movies that it's just all about the performances and not about the actual story or anything else. It's just not a good movie. I never want to see this movie again. If you see my review, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Stone is number 4.
My number 3 is Despicable Me. Like I said, I love Miranda Cosgrove, I love Steve Carell, but, you know, I think so Carell's really good with The Office, but, off that, I want to say that Despicable Me, I was very, excited to go see it, and of course, like, my brother said, the trailers show you the good part, but when you see the movie, it's a letdown. It's very, sad, very disappointing. Alright,
my number 3 is Clash of the Titans. Horrible movie, horrible 3D, horrible acting, horrible story, screenplay. I mean, everything about this movie, horrible. I don't want to get into it. I just did not like Clash of Titans at all.
My number 2 is Shrek 4, the final chapter. I saw all the movies. I loved the movies. I really enjoyed them. When I saw number 4, I didn't really enjoy it. Sadly, I'm very sad to have that as the last Shrek and for it to be a letdown.
Alright, so we have both the same number 1. Let's just talk about it together and try to save some time. Both of our worst movies of 2010. Good Lord. Vampires Suck. It's easily the worst spoof movie I've ever seen. She actually likes spoof movies. You know, I watch them kind of for her. She wants to go see them, and so I take her to go see them. But this movie, I mean,
it's just, it's horrible, you know?
It's not so much that we're biased because we kind of somewhat enjoy the Twilight films. Her more than I kind of just like them because Kristen Stewart, she actually likes them as a whole. But seriously, I think I laughed, once.
One time.
One time. I mean, please, do yourself a favor. Don't see Vampire Sucks.
You will thank us if we remind you this right now.
Yeah, so those are our worst movies of 2010. Those are the stinkers of this year. Those are the movies that we absolutely hated. So yeah, let us know down below what are your worst of 2010. So until next time, Corey, Morgan, thank you all for watching.
Bye.